Elon Musk recently joined the All In Summit. I showed you some videos on Optimus and others on AI, but here is a specific small clip I want to share, which is very exciting if you are interested in truth, into how Grok generates that truth, and how it will knock out Wikipedia as the world's greatest and biggest encyclopedia. Very interesting stuff because it goes beyond the technicalities and goes into first principle thinking about truth, about knowledge, and about how we can train AI with the flawed knowledge of humanity right now. And Elon will tell you exactly how they do it, and it's pretty cool.
XAI. You want to just give us an update? I think you kind of talked about where the next gen model is, and you said something incredible. I still don't think people really understand it, which is, there's going to be a next training run where you expect, not to start from the, common web and common crawl where you expected an enormous amount of synthetic data. Just tell us about how the evolution of Grok is going and this innovation and why it's so important.
So Chamath's question here refers to a simple problem. When you train these super models like OpenAI does with O5 and how Grok does it with the next Grok version. Because think about this. If you train an LLM to be smart and intelligent, how do you do that? Well, you feed it all the human information and knowledge. You feed it Wikipedia. You feed it billions and billions of websites. You feed it books, all the books of humanity. And what do they all have in common, or a lot of them? Look at Wikipedia. It's a cesspool of propaganda and misinformation. That's why some of these models were so woke in the beginning, because if you feed something lies and distortions, of course you train it to lie and distort. And so the question is, how can these models actually be trained on true knowledge when we only have flawed knowledge? And here comes Elon explaining this.
Yeah, so we're running using a lot of inference compute and reasoning to look at all of the source data, which is really the corpus of human knowledge, and then thinking about each piece of information, and then adding what's missing, and correcting mistakes and removing falsehoods from that training data. So it's like if you take the Wikipedia as an example, but this really applies to books, PDFs, the websites, every form of information. The Grok is using heavy amounts of inference compute to look at, as an example, a Wikipedia page and say what is true, partially true, or false, or missing in this page. Now rewrite the page to correct remove the falsehoods, correct the half-truths, and add the missing context.
Well, Elon, by the way, could you just publish that? Could we create like a Grokopedia? I mean, that
especially for our bio pages, which are a disaster.
Yeah, Wikipedia is so biased, and it's a constant war. If something gets corrected, 5 minutes later, there'll be an army of people trying to. I mean, it's become hyper partisan, and there's activists all over it. So if you do fix, for example, Wikipedia as a source of truth, it'd be great to publish that just so the world has it.
All right, I'll talk about that. So talk to the team about that, like a Grokopedia or whatever. Here's the Grokopedia version.
Be interesting.
Yeah, you heard it here first in All In Summit. So funny. Elon basically explained how it works. They're going to take all the knowledge of the world, then run inference on it. Ask Grok, current Grok, okay, what do you think about this? Can you rewrite it and can you make it better? Right? If they have some lies in there or distortions. I don't want to go into any details, but you know all about it, right? Distortions. Then they rewrite it so there's a clean version, and then they train the next version of Grok on that. And if you play around with Grok or ChatGPT, you see that these models are very good at that. You can give them a flawed or propaganda text. Take something extreme, take like Stalin's text or Goebbels or something and feed it to them and say, can you analyze this text? Take out the lies and the distortions and rewrite the content in a more objective way. They're doing a good job with that. And we have to do this today too, of course, with Wikipedia. Hey, creating these videos is a lot of work. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Now let's get back to the video. So David Zach said, if you do that, why don't you create a competitor for Wikipedia, Grokpedia? And Elon just casually says, sure, smiles a little bit here. I can tell the team, let's get Grokpedia out. If that happens, it's going to be funny, because it's another little side quest to fix the entire human encyclopedia that is completely, activist ridden right now, Wikipedia. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then just have it out there for just
where, in terms of people here like it, in terms of training Grok 5, you're scaling up your supercluster in Colossus and Memphis.
Colossus 2 now, yeah, but we have a second one.
Yeah, could you give us an update on that? And then also, as part of that, where are we in the scaling laws? If you scale a bigger cluster, do you get a more powerful AI model? Is there a point of diminishing returns, or like how much more compute?
Okay, we are going to cover this in a different video where I'm just talking on the AI timeline. There's a longer video that will include this clip. This here was just about Grokpedia and telling you guys how Elon thinks about these first principle knowledge feeding mechanism that makes sure that the next versions, the more powerful versions of Grok, are actually based on more truth. And he does it by generating this truth in the first place. I think it's brilliant, straight on, very smart. I hope that was helpful, and see you next time.